Welcome back. Today we explore the value of these top 8 most valuable steel pennies and copper pennies that could be in your pocket change. Let's get started. First up, the 1943 Lincoln Steel Wheat Penny is one of the most famous coins in U.S. history. During World War II, the U.S. Mint faced a shortage of copper, which was critical for the war effort. As a result, the U.S. government made the decision to strike the 1943 Lincoln penny from steel instead of the usual copper. This steel penny, with its bright silver-like appearance, is iconic and highly collectible. In 1943, the U.S. Mint produced over 1 billion steel pennies, but most of them were minted with the standard mint marks of D. Denver and S. San Francisco, while a smaller number were struck at the Philadelphia Mint without any mint mark. The 1943 steel penny's unique composition made it an interesting anomaly in the history of U.S. coinage. The 1943 Lincoln Steel penny shares the same design as the traditional Lincoln wheat cent, which was first introduced in 1909. The obverse of the coin features the profile of Abraham Lincoln, with the words "In God We Trust" above and "Liberty" and the year 1943 below. The reverse displays 2 stalks of wheat, symbolizing the country's agricultural roots, and the words "E pluribus unum" and 1 cent at the top and bottom, respectively. The most notable feature of this coin is its composition. Unlike most pennies, which are made of copper, this penny is made of steel and coated with a thin layer of zinc. The coin's weight is lighter than the copper versions, making it stand out visually. Lamination damage is a condition where a thin layer of metal begins to peel away from the surface of the coin, typically due to an impurity in the metal or a problem during the minting process. On the 1943 steel penny, this can happen to any part of the surface, and when it does, it drastically reduces the coin's overall appearance and value in the eyes of collectors. However, even in such a condition, the rarity of the coin itself can drive its price up. A 1943 Lincoln steel penny with lamination damage is still highly collectible, as the damage is seen as a unique characteristic rather than just wear, and it's a fascinating example of an error coin that collectors and investors covet because it tells a story of the coin's history and its production process. The value of a 1943 Lincoln steel penny in lamination damage condition can vary significantly based on the severity of the damage and the overall state of the coin. In general, you can expect these coins to fetch anywhere from $415,000 in the current market, but for coins with more severe or interesting lamination errors, they can push upwards of $420,000 or more, depending on collector demand. Because the 1943 steel penny is already a rare coin due to its unusual composition, collectors are often willing to pay a premium for coins that exhibit unique flaws or errors, such as lamination damage. So, while a coin in pristine condition may be more valuable, a coin with lamination damage could become a unique piece in a collection, further adding to its desirability. The 1943 Lincoln Steel Wheat Penny, regardless of its condition, is a highly sought-after coin among collectors. Its historical significance, combined with the unique minting process during the war, makes it a staple in any collection of U.S. coins. Collectors who specialize in wartime coins or error coins are especially drawn to this issue. Even with damage, the coin still holds an important place in the narrative of American coinage, especially because of the relatively small number of steel pennies that have survived the years in decent condition. Next up, the 1943 Lincoln Steel Wheat Penny was struck during World War II when copper was needed for ammunition and other military supplies. The U.S. Mint began striking pennies in steel as a temporary measure to preserve copper for the war effort. With a mintage of over 1 billion coins, the 1943 steel penny is one of the most produced coins in U.S. history. The D Mint mark indicates that the coin was minted at the Denver Mint, which, along with the San Francisco Mint, S was one of the primary locations for producing the 1943 steel pennies. Most of the 1943 pennies were struck in Denver, which adds some significance to the D Mint mark version of the coin. The design of the 1943 Lincoln Steel penny with the D Mint mark follows the standard Lincoln wheat penny design. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's image is surrounded by the words "In God We trust liberty and the year 1943 on the reverse, the two stalks of wheat and the phrase e pluribus unum encircle the word 1 cent. The major difference in these coins lies in their composition, as they were struck in steel instead of copper. The steel material gives the coin a silver-grey appearance that makes it stand out from the typical copper pennies. A coin in dirty condition means that it has significant grime, dirt, or other contaminants on the surface, which can obscure the details of the coin and detract from its overall appearance. While this may negatively affect the coin's visual appeal, a 1943 steel penny with a D mint mark remains valuable because of its rarity and historical significance. Dirty coins like these can often be cleaned or conserved, although some collectors prefer to leave them in their original state for fear of reducing their value further. The 1943 Lincoln steel penny with the D mint mark is still in demand despite its dirty condition, especially because so many of the coins from this era were circulated and have since deteriorated in various ways. The more unique or preserved a coin is, the more valuable it becomes in today's market. While a 1943 steel penny in dirty condition isn't likely to fetch the same high prices as a pristine or error example, it still holds substantial value due to its rarity. Depending on the severity of the dirt and the overall condition of the coin, a 1943 Lincoln steel penny with the D mint mark can be worth anywhere from $200,000 in the current market. Although dirty coins may not be as highly valued as those in better condition, they can still be of interest to collectors who are willing to clean or restore the coin. Furthermore, the unique history behind the 1943 steel penny, combined with the scarcity of well-preserved examples, helps maintain the coin's market value. Despite being in dirty condition, the 1943 Lincoln steel penny with a D mint mark remains an attractive option for collectors, particularly those focused on wartime coinage or the Lincoln cent series. Collectors appreciate these coins for their historical significance, and even in less than ideal condition, the coin remains a desirable addition to any collection of 20th century US coins. Next up, the 1943 Lincoln steel wheat penny holds a significant place in the history of US coinage, especially because of its unique composition. In 1943, due to wartime shortages of copper, the US Mint made the decision to switch the metal used for the production of the 1 cent coin. The result was the creation of a steel penny coated with a thin layer of zinc. This change was intended to save copper for the war effort. The 1943 Lincoln wheat penny is one of the most recognized wartime pennies and is often sought after by collectors due to its historical importance. But what makes this particular coin so valuable, especially the large date version without a mint mark? Let's explore this in detail. The obverse of the 1943 steel wheat penny features the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The inscription Liberty runs along the top, and In God We Trust appears at the bottom. The year 1943 is prominently displayed to the right of Lincoln's portrait. This year is crucial because it marks the year when the penny switched to steel, making it one of the most iconic issues in American numismatics. What sets the 1943 large date apart from other steel pennies is the size of the numerals in the year 1943. In fact, there are two variations, the large and the small date. The large date is significantly rarer and more valuable due to its distinct font, which stands out from the small date version. The absence of a mint mark on this coin indicates it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, as opposed to the Denver or San Francisco Mint. This is an important distinction for collectors, as coins without mint marks from Philadelphia are considered more scarce in certain years. The 1943 Lincoln steel penny was produced in large numbers, with over 1 billion coins being minted that year. However, the large date without a mint mark is far rarer in terms of surviving specimens. The number of these coins in excellent condition is relatively low, making them highly sought after by collectors. Collectors are particularly interested in obtaining 1943 steel wheat pennies because of their historical significance as part of the wartime effort. Many of these coins are worn due to circulation, which makes finding one in good to excellent condition much more valuable. A 1943 steel penny in circulated condition can command a price significantly higher than its face value due to its rarity and the demand for coins with historical stories attached to them. The value of the 1943 Lincoln steel wheat penny can vary greatly depending on the condition of the coin. In circulated condition, prices can range from $84,000 depending on how worn the coin is. However, coins in higher grades, such as those graded MS63 or higher, can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, with some exceptional examples going for over $5,000 in the right auction setting. The large date version, especially without a mint mark, can fetch even higher prices. It is worth noting that the value of this coin is also influenced by factors such as collector demand, economic conditions, and the specific auction in which the coin is. For example, a high-grade 1943 steel penny in MS65, mint state 65, could easily be valued between $100,000, and rarer specimens with incredible provenance have been known to break the $150,000 barrier. There is also the intriguing possibility of errors, such as the 1943 copper penny, a coin mistakenly struck in copper rather than steel. While this is a rare and highly valuable mistake, it adds to the mystique of the 1943 steel penny, though we are focusing on the steel penny in this case. Collectors often seek out the various known errors, including double strikes or misprints, which can make these coins even more valuable. The 1943 Lincoln steel wheat penny is a favorite among collectors due to its historical relevance and its unique place in American coinage. Many collectors are drawn to this coin because it represents a tangible piece of U.S. wartime history. Furthermore, as the number of surviving high-quality examples continues to decline, the value of well-preserved 1943 steel pennies will likely increase. Next up, the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny was part of the final years of the wheat penny series, which was struck by the U.S., mint from 1909 to 1958. By the time 1941 rolled around, the Lincoln wheat penny had already become a staple of American coinage, with millions being minted every year. While the 1941 version was not minted in exceptional numbers compared to other years, it still holds significant value for collectors, especially considering the coin's historical context. In 1941, the world was on the brink of World War II, and this period marks the beginning of significant economic and social changes in the United States. Although the 1941 penny was not part of the wartime emergency change in composition such as the 1943 steel penny, it remains a key piece in the set of pre-war coins. The 1941 wheat penny continues the design established in 1909 by Victor David Brenner. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln is depicted in a simple yet dignified portrait. Above his image, the word liberty is engraved, while In God We Trust appears just below. The date, 1941, is displayed next to Lincoln's profile, with the lack of a mint mark signifying that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The design of the Lincoln wheat penny, especially with no mint mark, is widely regarded as one of the most enduring symbols of American numismatic history. For many, these pennies evoke a sense of nostalgia and pride for an era that predates modern U.S. coinage. Over 600 million Lincoln wheat pennies were produced in 1941, making it a relatively common coin. However, despite the large mintage, the value of a 1941 penny in circulated condition can still command a decent price, particularly if it's in good to very fine condition. A large portion of these coins were heavily worn due to extensive circulation, so high-quality examples are harder to find. Coin collectors have long been interested in the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny because of its historical significance and its place in the development of U.S. currency. The absence of a mint mark indicates that the coin was struck in Philadelphia, which is significant to collectors looking for variety in their collections. In circulated condition, the 1941 wheat penny typically ranges in value from $77,000. However, examples that are well preserved and graded in fine to extra fine condition can be worth between $82,000. Rare higher grade coins can be valued in the range of $100,000 or more, depending on the specific grade, with the most pristine examples reaching upwards of $120,000 or higher in auction. Collectors often seek 1941 wheat pennies in high-grade condition because they represent a piece of American numismatic history. Given that the coin was produced in large quantities, finding one with minimal wear and preserving its original details is highly prized. Like many coins from this period, the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny is subject to errors. While major errors such as doubled dies are relatively rare in 1941, the potential for small minting inconsistencies exists. These errors can add significant value to an otherwise ordinary coin, as collectors appreciate the rarity of such examples. Next up, the 1950 Lincoln wheat 1 cent, in its large date form without a mint mark, is one of the most highly coveted coins among collectors. This coin, like all Lincoln wheat cents, carries with it a rich historical significance that links it directly to the development of the United States during the early to mid-20th century. In 1950, the country was in a period of post-war transition. The United States had emerged victorious in World War II and was entering the early stages of the Cold War. The coin itself was produced during the presidency of Harry Truman, who was in office from 1945 to 1953. This was a time when American industry and technology were advancing rapidly and inflation was beginning to rise in the wake of war expenditures. The 1950 Lincoln wheat penny is symbolic of an era in which the country was moving forward but still grappling with the economic aftermath of war. The 1950 Lincoln wheat penny was designed by Victor David Brenner, who also designed the 1909 version, which was the first year the coin was minted. The obverse features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, facing left. Above Lincoln's head are the words Liberty, and below his image is the year 1950. The coin's most significant design detail is the large date format. In 1950, the U.S. Mint released two variations of the penny, the large date and the small date. The large date, which has a noticeably larger numeral for the year, was initially thought to be an error but was later confirmed to be a standard production variety. The 1950 Lincoln wheat penny was minted in Philadelphia without a mint mark, which is significant for collectors. The total mintage of the 1950 penny was over 800 million coins, but the large date without mint mark variety is a bit scarcer and thus commands a higher value. While this coin was not particularly rare when it was first released, its circulated condition and its standing as a part of the Lincoln wheat cent series make it highly desirable today. Although its mintage numbers might suggest a relatively low value in uncirculated conditions, coins in circulated condition with significant wear or scratches on the front side are still quite valuable in the market. This is because collectors of Lincoln wheat cents are willing to pay a premium for coins that carry the historical weight of the era and are part of an iconic series, regardless of condition. In today's auction market, the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny large date without mint mark in circulated condition can be found selling anywhere from $15,000 depending on the specific wear, toning, and collector demand at the time of sale. However, prices can rise for coins in better than average circulated conditions or if the coin has significant collector appeal due to unique characteristics like toning or historical value. What makes this coin even more interesting is its potential for error coins. Some 1950 pennies have been known to exhibit die cracks or off-center strikes, which can significantly increase their value. A die crack running through the coin's date, for example, can make this coin even more valuable due to its rarity. The 1950 Lincoln wheat 1 cent with a large date and no mint mark is a fascinating piece that captures both the spirit of its era and the technical evolution of coin design. Its rich history, along with its appealing design and scarcity in circulated condition, makes it a coin that every serious collector should keep an eye on in the auction market. Whether you're just starting your collection or you're a seasoned numismatist, this coin is sure to hold value for years to come. Next up, the 1942 Lincoln wheat penny is another incredible coin that holds a unique place in American numismatics. This coin is part of the broader Lincoln wheat series, which was first introduced in 1909 and continued until 1958. The 1942 issue, like others from the time, carries a lot of historical significance and is a symbol of the period during which it was minted. 1942 was a pivotal year in American history. The country had already entered World War II, and the effects of the war were felt in every aspect of life, including coinage. At this time, there were significant material shortages, and coins were being produced with a variety of alternative metals due to the scarcity of copper and other materials required for coin minting. This year marked the beginning of several changes, both in the US Mint and in the economy at large. The 1942 Lincoln Wheat penny is an essential reflection of this wartime period. The design of the 1942 Lincoln Wheat penny remains mostly the same as its predecessors. The obverse still features Abraham Lincoln sculpted in full relief and bearing the signature by Victor David Brenner. The inscription on the front reads Liberty at the top and the year 1942 beneath Lincoln's portrait. This design, in combination with the coin's relatively simple aesthetic, gives the 1942 Lincoln Wheat penny a timeless quality that appeals to collectors. In total, more than 1 billion 1942 Lincoln Wheat pennies were minted in various locations, including the Philadelphia Mint, which produced coins without a mint mark. The coin's mintage figures suggest it would not be particularly rare, but the condition of the coin greatly affects its value in today's market. Coins in fine condition are highly prized by collectors because they retain clear design features and details. Despite its higher mintage, the 1942 Lincoln Wheat penny still remains a collector favorite due to its historical context and its association with World War II. This coin can be considered one of the cornerstone pieces of a complete Lincoln Wheat series collection. The 1942 Lincoln Wheat penny without mint mark in fine condition can range in value, but it typically sells for $50,000 in auction markets, depending on the quality of the coin. However, coins in better condition, those in extra fine or uncirculated states, can fetch considerably higher prices. Like the 1950 coin, a 1942 penny with unique features such as double strikes or die errors can also drive prices upwards. In some cases, these errors can cause a coin's value to increase dramatically, especially if the coin shows characteristics that were unintended during the minting process. The 1942 Lincoln Wheat penny is a fantastic representation of wartime America. Its design and historical context make it a must-have for any serious collector. Although the coin is not the rarest in terms of mintage, its significant role in American history and its place in the Lincoln Wheat series ensure its continued appeal. Next up, the 1928 Lincoln Wheat cent is one of the most treasured pennies among collectors, and for good reason. This particular coin, when in circulated condition, still holds significant value, especially when you factor in its age, historical context, and rarity. Let's break it down. The 1928 Lincoln Wheat cent was struck during a period of immense change in the United States. The 1920s marked the end of World War I, the start of the Great Depression, and an era of profound social and political shifts. The coin features the likeness of President Abraham Lincoln, which has been on US pennies since 1909, the 100th anniversary of his birth. 1928 was a year of transition in American coinage. It's important to note that this coin does not have a mint mark, indicating it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The lack of a mint mark is important because it distinguishes it from some other years where coins were struck in other mint locations like Denver or San Francisco. The design of the 1928 Lincoln cent is quintessentially American and steeped in history. On the obverse, we see the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. His dignified profile faces right, with "In God We Trust" inscribed above, Lib on the left and the year of minting on the right. The reverse of the coin showcases 2 stalks of wheat, an image that would remain on the cent until 1958. In 1928, over 200 million pennies were minted. However, many of these coins circulated extensively and became worn over time, which makes high-quality examples of the 1928 Lincoln cent relatively rare. While there are other years with lower mintage figures, the 1928 stands out due to its combination of high mintage and moderate surviving quality. Because of this, it is considered a semi-key date in the wheat cent series. When found in good condition, especially in circulated state, the value begins to rise. In today's market, a 1928 Lincoln wheat cent without a mint mark in circulated condition can range in value depending on the coin's specific state of wear and other factors like toning or surface quality. The average auction price for a coin in circulated condition might fall between $30,000, but high-grade examples can fetch much more. Coins in fine to very fine condition can climb into the $36,000 range. For those lucky enough to find a coin that's been kept in excellent condition, the value can skyrocket. It's not unusual for a 1928 Lincoln cent in graded MS65 or higher Haunty state to achieve a value of over $160,000, and rarer auction results can even reach $200,000 or more depending on the coin's unique attributes. The 1928 Lincoln cent is also interesting because of its potential for error varieties. Some coins were struck with misaligned dies, creating off-center strikes that could increase the coin's value. Additionally, coins with unusual toning, such as a red-brown or unusual shades of brown, could command a premium. However, for collectors, the appeal of this coin is also about the overall design and the historical significance of the Lincoln portrait. As a result, the 1928 Lincoln wheat cent is an essential part of any wheat cent collection. The combination of its historical importance and its place in the broader context of American coinage makes it one of the most desirable coins for numismatists. Next up, the 1929 Lincoln wheat cent, which is often referred to as the large date variety. While this coin might seem similar to other wheat pennies, it has distinct characteristics that make it a noteworthy piece for collectors. The 1929 Lincoln wheat cent was struck during a period when the U.S. economy was beginning to show signs of strain after the prosperous 1920s. This was the year before the Great Depression would begin to severely impact the country. Just like the 1928 cent, the 1929 coin was issued by the Philadelphia Mint and carries no mint mark. This year is also significant because it is part of a transition period between the 1920s and 1930s, where coin designs remained largely unchanged, but the economic climate and the societal atmosphere were undergoing significant shift. The 1929 cent, with the large date variety, was minted with a distinctive font and larger numerals on the year compared to other dates. It's these subtle differences that collectors look for when examining coins from this period. Like the 1928 Lincoln cent, the 1929 coin features the famous image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. The only distinguishing feature from the 1928 is the larger, more pronounced numbers in the 1920. On the reverse, the two stalks of wheat surround the inscription 1 cent in the center, again presenting the classic design that would remain on the penny until 1958. 1929 Lincoln cent has a mintage of over 200 million coins, making it one of the more common dates for the Lincoln wheat series. However, finding a 1929 large date penny in decent condition, especially one that hasn't been heavily circulated, can be quite a challenge. Coins with excessive dirt, oxidation, or scratches will significantly reduce the coin's market value. In dirty condition, the coin may only fetch around $99,000 at auction. However, the collector interest increases when the coin is found in better condition, even if slightly worn. A 1929 Lincoln cent in fine to very fine condition can see a market value anywhere from $89,000, depending on the degree of wear and any unique surface characteristics that it may possess. Despite its large mintage, the 1929 Lincoln cent can still be quite valuable, especially when it is in better condition. For the large date variety, collectors are looking for well-struck examples that show minimal signs of wear, toning, or corrosion. In fine to very fine condition, the coin may fetch anywhere between $100,000, and if you're lucky enough to find a coin with an error, such as double die bursts or striking issues, the value could climb significantly. While not as widely known as other Lincoln wheat cent varieties, the 1929 large date variety can be very appealing to those looking to complete their Lincoln wheat series. Collectors often focus on these more subtle variations in coin design, and the 1929's large date is certainly an interesting feature that sets it apart from other years in the series. Coins with errors, including die cracks or off-center strikes, could be highly collectible and therefore worth significantly more, especially in good condition. Additionally, even a coin in dirty condition can be appealing to collectors who specialize in the history and context of the coin rather than its aesthetic appeal. Thanks for joining us. Happy collecting!